In this video, we'll understand the concept of customer perception of service. While trying to look at what the perception built by a customer towards the service is, we need to understand two basic dimensions which actually contribute towards building the perception towards the service. One is customer satisfaction as well as the customer's perception of the quality. So the entire discussion of quality and satisfaction, which we will take up in the coming slides, is based on the customer's perception of the service, not based on any objective criteria of what a service should be. Basically, how a customer perceives services, whether they have experienced quality of service or whether they are satisfied with the service. They are the subjects of this entire discussion that we will look forward in the coming slides. So what are the general factors? Now, when I'm talking about the factors here, first let's look at the general factors before we look into the aspects of customer satisfaction as well as service quality, which would be the basis of determining how a customer perceives a service. But the general factors, not taking into consideration the quality and satisfaction aspects, which influence customer perception of service, is the image of the company. This is generally well known based on what the goodwill of the company is, what brand image the company has in the market, whether at a very local level or at a very corporate level, whether we are talking about looking at a top level image built or at a very local level as to what is the general image among the public. That influences how a customer perceives that particular service provided by the company. Next up would be the price. Now, generally people tend to associate higher price with higher quality and lower price with lower quality. A customer's personal experience, his experience based on what he has experienced with that service in the past. Customer reviews, whether reviews coming from social media, reviews coming in from his friends, his family, some what you say expert forums, could be from magazines, could be from any place, maybe from newspapers, could be any particular source from which he is able to receive a review about that particular service. Advertising, based on the explicit promise which is given by the service provider. All of this general factors help in building a kind of a perception of a service even before the service is actually being delivered. As far as personal experience is concerned, it could be something where they've already experienced it. So his next experience will actually have an image about him, about the service in his mind. So in order to look at the customer perception of service quality and customer satisfaction, this gives you a visual representation of what we are going to be talking about in the coming slides. As far as service quality, we'll look at 5 dimensions. These 5 dimensions are something which generally, when a discussion on service quality comes up, we talk about these dimensions of reliability, responsiveness, assurance, empathy, and tangibles. As far as satisfaction is concerned, it is a product of, or it is the outcome of the product quality, price, personal factors, as well as situational factors, which ultimately give rise to the customer loyalty based on the level of satisfaction. It could be a loyal customer, or based on level of satisfaction, it could turn out to be a disloyal customer. And service quality also contributes to the what you say satisfaction. Now you need to understand that satisfaction is generally viewed as a broader concept, whereas service quality focus specifically on those dimensions of service that have been provided there. Generally, when we talk about perception, we need to understand in considering perception, it could be sometimes uh, specific transactions that have happened within a company that helps you determine the perception of a company or the overall perception basically of a company. To give you an example, let's say you visit a bank And when you visit a bank, you're going through a transaction with the bank, and you have a very bad experience with the customer. Sorry, with the bank personnel who is actually servicing you. So you have a very bad perception, or not a very not so good perception about the bank based on your encounter with the bank during that particular single transaction. But otherwise, overall, you might have had very good experience with that bank in the past. Maybe while taking their loan services, insurance services, maybe you have associated yourself with that bank for many other services. But for that one particular service, you had a very bad experience. That does not mean your perception changes. Single transaction have a different perception. Maybe overall your perception is different. So it's very important to understand that before we proceed further. We look at uh, trying to even differentiate between service quality and customer satisfaction using an example that would give us a clear idea. When I meant to say service quality is more on a what do you say on a specific dimensions of service, and satisfaction is generally viewed on a broader level. So let's talk about a health club. Now, if we have to judge a health club based on certain attributes, whether the equipment is available in the health club, whether it is actually available as well as working, and how responsible are the store staff in catering to the customers' needs, whether the facility is very well maintained, and how skilled the trainers are at the health club. All of this individual attributes will help you in determining the quality of service provided by that health club. But customer satisfaction is a broader concept. Generally, will be influenced by the perceptions of service quality, but also include perceptions of things like service quality also is going to be a contribution, but also things like product quality, whether the quality of products which are sold in that shop, price of membership, personal factors such as the consumer's emotional state, and even uncontrollable situational factors such as weather conditions, experiences driving to and fro from the club. All of this may not be certain parameters on judging the quality, but these are additional price, personal factors, situational about the product quality of products itself in the shop. This so satisfaction is a broader concept. There are many more parameters apart from quality which are governed on basic parameters which are part of your quality assessment. Let's define customer satisfaction. Satisfaction is the consumer's fulfillment response. It is a judgment that a product or service feature or the product or service itself that has been provided at a pleasurable level, consumption related fulfillment. Okay. Customer satisfaction is influenced by specific product or service features, which we saw earlier with the health club example, perceptions of product as well as service quality. But service quality also is a contribution towards satisfaction, and price. In addition, personal factors such as customer's mood, his emotional state, and situational factors such as family member opinions influence the satisfaction of a customer. Service quality, the next concept which we will look at, a very critical element in determining the customer's perception. In case of pure services like healthcare, financial service, education service, these are pure services. Okay, we do not have any products in here. Service quality will be the dominant element in customers' evaluations. Of course, based on certain parameters, based on certain dimensions. Those 5 dimensions which we are going to look at here, which is listed here, those will apply. Mostly all of these will apply towards certain pure services. In case of services in which the customer are offered something in combination with a physical product, like some tangible, service is intangible, but let's say IT services, auto services, there's also a product involved, right? Apart from the service which I give you, like the maintenance service or the car repair service, I also provide you the product. So there's a product associated with it. Service quality may also be critical in determining the customer satisfaction. Okay, not just for pure but also services which come along with a tangible. What are the dimensions on which I would try to determine the uh, quality of a service? Reliability. When we talk about reliability, uh, what are we talking about? When you talk about reliability, it is nothing but the ability to perform the promised service dependably and accurately. whether the service provider is reliable from a customer's perspective, and also from perspective of what he promises. So if I am promising to deliver something, let's say I am a courier delivery service and I say I will deliver it within a day or 2 days, say Blue Dart or DHL, whether I am delivering it with the way I have promised it. If I have, then I'm a reliable service provider. People will come back to me again based on what I have already uh, promised and I have delivered. Responsiveness, willingness to help customers and provide prompt service. When I talk about prompt, this is generally in terms of, let's say, measured in terms of the length of time taken for customers to wait for him to actually get back to, say, a problem a customer is facing, whether he's asked certain questions and you want to respond back to him. Let's say car repair service itself. How quickly are you responsive enough to come back and actually help me fix that and your repair service, maybe a AC repair service? How quick, how prompt are you in my service? That is basically a measurement of the promptness. Even if it is the IT, your computer breakdown service, anything like that, IT services are generally measured on this parameter a lot. Not just about reliability, yes, but responsiveness. How quick? Generally, you have a lot of tickets which are generated for customer support. Even when it comes to, and how quick are you able to, your website is down, how quick are you able to fix it up quickly? That's more important. Assurance, employees' knowledge and courtesy, and their ability to inspire trust. So it's this is here we're talking about inspiring trust and confidence within the customer. Banks do this a lot. They try to associate, if you have an account at the bank, generally you'll have something called as a personal banker whom they assign to you, who tries to understand you individually and gets to coordinate all your services. So it's more like providing an additional element of trust. You know that you can trust this bank because they have this personal banker services, and I know that at all points in time they are available for me. Empathy, caring, individualized attention given to customers. Every customer wants to feel unique. He wants to ensure that he's getting that personalized attention. Now this is not the case with everything. Let's say banks provide an ATM service. When it comes to this machine ATM service, there is no empathy aspect because there's no individual associated, there's no people element associated. Whenever there's a people element associated, we talk about empathy as a concept, as a dimension. But when you're talking about in ATM service, we're not talking about empathy. It does not apply there. So the service quality dimensions will apply almost all the places. Certain places, certain things may not, some dimensions may not apply. The tangibility aspect, representing the service physically. Talk about the appearance of physical facilities, equipment, personal communication materials, anything that come along with what you provide a service. The area you're providing a hotel service, you provide a restaurant service, whatever you're providing, the everything else involved, the tangible aspect involved. Let's say you're a car wash service. You might have come to the wash. You might have come to give your car to wash, but the customer is obviously going to be waiting somewhere. He's going to wait in a waiting area. That waiting area, the appearance of the physical facility in the waiting area, what do extra do you provide to him there? Do you have, say, coffee service there? Does he have some magazines to read? How well do you able to, like, give him something extra there, or able to provide some freebies along with the car wash, some car shampoo? These are the things, the tangibles that represent the service physically, also is a service quality dimension, and also goes on to build the customer perception. A few examples given here. I would want you to go through the others, but let's look at one of them. Because I mentioned car wash and auto repair, let's look at that itself. Let's say car repair, that's the industry. Based on reliability, problem fixed the first time and already and ready when promised. Based on the promise, you fix it up. Responsiveness, accessible, no waiting, response to requests. Great. Assurance, knowledgeable mechanics. Yes, the mechanic is very knowledgeable, so you know that there is an assurance, there is a trust factor. I know if I give my car in the hands of this mechanic, this car repair service, nothing's going to go wrong. They're not going to break my car. I can be assured that I'll give it. Sometimes when you give it to local repair shops, you are a little worried about what will happen. They might rob your parts. They might use some cheap parts or anything like that. Sometimes even when you go to a petrol pump very far off in a very remote area, sometimes you wonder whether they'll give us 1 liter petrol or they're going to rob some petrol. That happens. Empathy acknowledges customer by name, remembers previous problems and preferences. You want that connect. Every time you go back, he knows you. Like a doctor, you want when a doctor is providing a service, you want to have the doctor remember your name and remember the history of the problems that you are facing if you keep visiting that doctor very often for a particular disease or a problem. Tangibles, repair facility, waiting area. I mentioned an example of waiting area. Uniforms, equipment. These are all tangible aspects which come along with that. Uniforms. Say a mechanic, what uniform is wearing. That's very important. They say salon services. Are they wearing some uniform? Are they clean? Are they? And in this particular period of time, if you're going to a salon, people who are really health conscious and very scared of corona as a virus, then they would not want to go to salons where he's not wearing a mask. He's not really providing with that extra kit, removable kit and kit that he can throw off every time, and he might just give you the same. If he gives you the same common cloth which he uses for everyone and he does not wear a mask, you might not want to go there because you'll have that fear. Things like that. So car repair, there's airline example given here, medical example as well as architecture example given here. You can actually read through that. Service encounter. The next concept we'll try to understand, very important when we talk about service, because this also is one of the aspects which will influence the satisfaction of the service, satisfaction of service by the customer, because service encounter is nothing but all meeting points. Service encounters are where promises are kept or broken and where the proverbial rubber meets the road. What that means is it's more like real time marketing. It is from these service encounter that customers build their perception. Encounter as in every time you meet, like he comes to a salon service, that meeting, that is his first meeting, or it's also called as a moment of truth. You might have promised a lot, you might have given a lot of advertisement. We provide the best salon services, provide the best face massage, provide the best face mask. We are professional celebrity makeups we have made. We have actually done very professional cutting. We'll give you that look, we'll give you everything. You made all that promise. Customer has come to your store, come to your salon. This is the moment of truth. This is where the encounter happens. If at this point you can make or break your entire service and the perception that the customer builds about you and the satisfaction that he has. If you serve him well and you serve him very well, you make him satisfied or you provide customer delight. Remember, I explained to you beyond customer's expectation, then he builds a very good perception about you. He's very satisfied. He's extremely satisfied. He's delighted. So these factors which influence satisfaction in a service encounter, certain things you have to look at when you talk about service encounter is this entire moment of truth. This moment of truth actually also not just gives an opportunity also for the firm, for the service provider also to basically it gives an opportunity for him to actually build up, to basically showcase his service. Every time a customer only comes, you might promise a lot, but if customers don't come, you cannot deliver your promise. Every time he comes, you get a chance to talk to him and make him that loyal customer of yours, right? So it's both ways, two ways it is, one for building customer perception, one also for an opportunity for the firm. Different types of encounters before we look into the factors. It could be a remote encounter. Remote is more like ATM is a remote encounter. You're not involved as face to face, personal or not. Phone could be an encounter where you're talking customer service over the phone. Face to face, salon service is a face to face where you actually meet the particular person. So the factors influencing recovery. When you talk about recovery as an aspect or a factor, how well does a service provider respond to a service failure? Let's say there's been a failure. Lights off in a salon. Okay. Does he have backup? Does he have something like, does he have an inverter backup which he can put on, turn on, as well as continue the continuous service? He cannot just wait there till the currents are back. You'll be sweating and all that hair on your face will be sticking. If you've had a haircut, that is. Hotel room is not available. How are you going to respond to that? Do you know somebody else available nearby? Everything you can make some arrangement, alternate arrangements. Airline flight is delayed. The item that had to be delivered by the courier packaging, wrong item has been delivered. Now there's been a failure. How well do you respond to a failure? How do you basically recover from that point? How do you handle it? That is very important, and that actually determines how well a customer perceives you. That's okay. Problems happen everywhere. It's not that every time you'll go wrong, but how well do you recover from that problem? Because services, problems are bound to happen. Do you remember service is a variability component? It's not like a product, right? A product, yes, there might be defective products, but it happens very rarely, few, because products go through a lot of extensive testing. They might be defective products, but you will replace them. That's also a recovery mechanism. But services have a higher percentage of failure. Adaptability. How does service provider deal with special requests? Now you know you're providing a service. Sometimes customers, you know, these some customers, he's come for a massage, he's come for something else, but he might say, do this also, and he might ask you for the same price. You know, he's providing a special request. Do you like actually snap back at the customer? How do you handle, like, saying, you know, you're a very rude service provider, saying, no, we don't do this, we do that, everything, or do you just heed to his request? It's just some customers will provide special requests. It's not every customer who will come up with a special request. Whether you're able to cater to that customer's needs, he'll feel delighted, he'll feel happy that, you know, an extra little provision he has asked and you have actually gone to that length to provide it. That's adaptability, for being a little flexible, not always saying this is it. Somebody comes to purchase a car, he will ask you for a free what do you say, car cover. He might ask you for a free mudguard. He might ask you for a free car what do you say, perfume. You give it to him. You provide, give him that extra. Apart from what you have promised, he's asking something extra, you provide. So that's, he feels really good. Spontaneity, voluntary actions in delivering a service. Now here there is no failure. He has not asked for any special request, but customers will still remember that encounter when they have met you, and they'll find it satisfying that if you provide something extra on your own, something voluntary, something additional. You say, we're having this particular offer and we are providing you something. Suddenly, just on the fly, you had not promised it earlier. That's voluntary. That gives you also a kind of way to impress the customer. Coping strategies, how employees manage problematic customers. This is now very rare. These are not talk about general, not about recovery. These are not problem, but these are certain customers are very hard to deal with. No matter what, they are never satisfied. They will always find some problem. Now, if such problematic customers arrive, where they start being very, 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 very unrealistic, how do you cope with such employees? I mean, how do employees basically cope with such customers? That basically talks about the factors influencing satisfaction in a service encounter. Let's look at a hotel service encounter. Remember, I told you encounter is not just single. Encounters, it's never a single encounter. Remember that. In hotels, in certain services, and there will be multiple encounter points. Like check-in is one way. Check-in is one encounter. At that point, it's about how well you serve him at the check-in booth. The bell person comes and takes the customer to room. So you'll also build your perception about the person who's taking your luggage to the room. The meal provided to you, so the restaurant service, you'll take a then it's a wake up call, people who wake you up, and the checkout. It might be something more also in between, maybe additional services, pool service, something else provided to you. But overall, every individual service encounter that you face builds an overall perception or a satisfaction about the hotel service to the customer. Finally, we'll look at understanding perception on the basis of service quality as well as customer satisfaction. And the service encounter concept that we have seen. We'll understand the strategies for influencing customer perception. Enhance customer satisfaction through service encounters. Yes, every service encounter is an opportunity for the service personnel to be able to provide a little bit extra, shaping the first impression of the customer. That's the encounter. Managing the trust of the customer, we've seen one of the aspects when we talk about building trust with the customer. Providing a sensory stimulation to customers. He has to be so well, what do you say, impressed with you. You know, you have to be able to provide that sensory stimulation. Otherwise, it's going to be just a customer coming in, taking your service, and then just going out. He's not really stimulated. He's not really, does not have that aha moment. That is what sensory stimulation is. It's going one level extra. Services are determined by what is the level to which they go. Instilling the service philosophy in the employees of the service provider. Now, not just looking from the customer perspective. If you really want to provide a good service, your employees should also be able to provide that good service. So they need to actually be able to have the same philosophy as the organization who provides the service. So everybody needs to have the same philosophy. I think you'll have certain parameters on which you have to provide service. Every employee should be aware of that. Reflect evidence of a service. Service evidence is basically, we are talking about the physical evidence. We talk about physical evidence as in all the physical equipments, everything that you provide. That also evidence of a service has to be reflected very clearly. Car wash example, where people have car waiting room, something like that. Create and communicate a realistic image. Do not do unrealistic promises, because you may not be able to meet, and customers will definitely be unsatisfied when they have a service encounter and they do not get what you have promised. Enhance customer perception of quality through value and pricing. So provide value based on the level of pricing that you have actually stated. That's all we have.